Welcome to the Africa Diaspora News Channel family. My name is Lynient Akotonou making this report. So May last year, 2025, a group of 59 white Afrikaners from South Africa arrived the US as part of a refugee program set up by the Trump's administration to provide sanctity and protection from racial discrimination in South Africa. So he said. You know, family, while others fleeing countries such as Afghanistan and other countries where there are no hope for the masses came to the US, they found closed doors. But for these 59 Afrikaners, white Afrikaners, it was easy. Trump opened the door to them. And people started talking. What's so special about these guys? They got benefits that they weren't supposed to get. So much was done for them that wasn't even done for the FBAs. That they've been asking for reparations, but Trump gave no heed. Yet he opened his arms so wide, right, to accommodate these guys, to welcome these guys from South Africa under the guise of white genocide. Really? Now, I came across this video of a lady doing a deep analysis into all this and how that some of these guys aren't poor. They are rich, they have resources. So they are going to the US for a new start. Some of them have businesses in South Africa that they placed their children in charge of. And then they fled to the US under the guise of genocide. Let's watch the video.
Well, I found exactly what you think I'd find. Okay, so normally refugee screening is pretty brutal and the UN is involved. They identify people who are fleeing war, persecution, violence, all the things. And applicants face interviews, background checks, biometric scans from the Department of Homeland Security, all the things that you would think that they would face. But not these people. It normally takes about 18 to 24 months. But this group of people, they got the speed lane pass. And all of this happened in 3 months with no UN oversight. So the United States takes in about 125,000 refugees from around the world. That's the cap. Every single year, so spots are limited. They almost always arrive on commercial flights, get things like housing stipends, job assistance, placement, stuff like that. And there are about 9 major resettlement agencies that help with this kind of work. But these 59 Afrikaners, oh no, they came on a private charter jet. By the way, if you guys are enjoying this video or you learned anything, leave me some fire emojis down in the comments. Back to the video. They were greeted with balloons, the Deputy Secretary of State, no vetting, just special treatment. But why? So Carl Kleinhaus, who is about 46 and has become sort of one of the poster people for this group of people coming over here, he claims that he was fleeing a farm in like Limpopo, right? After he was getting some messages on an app that were saying like, oh, we're coming for you. But when he arrived on May 12th, 2025 at Dulles Airport with the rest of his clan, unintended, he arrived with his son.
You know, family, while some of their names have been revealed, others remain hidden. And this raises questions about transparency and accountability. Why bring down these white Afrikaners and you can't tell us who they are? Give us their profile? What are you hiding? Unfortunately, this is how it is. Some of these guys just claimed they were being harassed, lands taken, they were poor farmers, but that's not the case. Let's watch the video again, family.
Grandson and daughter, but guess who wasn't with him? His other daughter and his mother. So he was fleeing threats of violence. He was so afraid for his life that he had to leave behind his multi-bedroom home. And for fun, he's also not a farmer. He owns a mining company who he put his daughter in charge of. So he left his daughter and mother in a country where he was so afraid for his life that he had to leave, but he just left them behind. Is he a farmer? No, he's not. He owns Honey Badger Mining, a granite mining company, a big one. Now, his wife was killed in a car accident in 2006, but genocide? Come on. And the other 58 aren't exactly struggling farmers either. Another one is Errol Langton, 48 years old, who moved here and joined his brother in Alabama. He has a registered IT business named Dextros Solutions. All of these companies are still registered in South Africa, FYI. He's been in business since 2008. But he still owns his business. He's just a refugee here now because of genocide. So far, as best as I can tell, there are 23 families, 35 adults, 24 children, mostly from Gauteng, if I'm saying that wrong, in Limpopo, with assets like luxury homes and huge businesses, not small farms. These are affluent Afrikaners who speak English, leveraging Trump's program for a new start, but definitely not for survival. And this is why the Episcopal Church, when they got here, they refused to resettle these people because they basically said, look, we have known Afghani refugees and Congolese refugees.
Family, it's important to note that preferential treatment in South Africa is not a new thing. Many citizens have long pointed to these disparities in South Africa, how that some are being treated way better than the others. And this some, we are talking about the white Afrikaners, those who came to settle and took the land of these guys. Now, if there's any country that suffered during the colonial time, post-colonial, pre-colonial era, we should be talking about South Africa. Because today they are still suffering to get back all these guys took from them. And now, in a way, they've turned everything and they are now claiming the victims. Let's watch the other part of the story, family.
People whose applications have already been approved and you're basically putting them in a holding position. These Afghani people are people that helped our service members during the war who are being pursued by groups like the Taliban. And we just put all of them on freeze and we put these white South Afrikaners in the speed lane. So the Episcopal Church said, no, we're not going to do it because what you're doing is completely, obviously racially motivated and we're not going to be any part of it. Kleinhaus, the first one I was talking about, apparently he said, oh, his land is worthless, even though there has been absolutely no land actually taken from anybody. Records show that he transferred the rights to his business to his daughter, who's running it now. Others sold their properties at market rates. So it wasn't like they had to grab their stuff and flee the country. No. They sold their assets. They secured their businesses with other people. And then they got on a luxury jet and took off for the United States, where they will enjoy refugee status for 1 year before being allowed to apply for a green card. And in April, a federal judge said, no, you need to restore some of these other people who have already been approved and bring them in. And the Trump administration said, well, we're prioritizing these Afrikaners because of their easy assimilation into our country. Let me help you out. Why? They're white. This isn't about 59 Afrikaner refugees. This is about establishing a pipeline for white immigration into the United States.
So family, the heart of this issue is fairness. Why are they being treated so highly? Why are they carried on the wings of President Donald Trump? What's so special about them? Are these guys linked to someone powerful? What do they have? What are they hiding? Now, as we heard from that sister, some of them have businesses. They are not small. So are you telling me they left South Africa to start off on a fresh note while having their businesses back there in South Africa? It doesn't make sense. And then they are welcomed by President Donald Trump while he shuts the door to others, shut the door to the black people crying out for reparations, crying out for equality. But these guys came, and this makes us think that it's just racism, pure racism and colorism because they are white. Others, he shut the door to them. What those in America have been demanding haven't been met. But these guys, you open your arms so wide. So family, this lady reviewed a whole lot and they tried to claim they're the victims when obviously they're not. And there is something about all this that just feels creepy. What do you have to say about this story, family? Comment your thoughts and do not forget to share, like, subscribe, and turn on your notification button. And for more commentaries, download the Africa Diaspora News Channel app. Thank you for watching.